Thank you for joining us this evening for the Nesbit School Middle School Information Night. My name's Dan DeGore. I'm the superintendent with Belmont-Redwood Shores, and I'm so happy to be here and happy to share this opportunity with you. Tonight, we have an amazing panel of teachers, parents, and administrators here to tell you about the Nesbit International Baccalaureate World School Program and answer all the questions that you may have. Tonight, we're using the question and answer feature in the bottom. If you have a question, please feel free to submit it. We will do our absolute best to answer the question live, and questions that we aren't able to answer live, we'll make sure that information is shared. With that, I'm going to start by introducing two amazing administrators in our district, Principal Ryan Hansen and Assistant Principal Christina Spicker. Christina, Ryan, take it away.
Thank you, Dan. Welcome. Thank you for joining us for Nesbit's Middle School Information Night. I am your proud principal, and I'm really glad that you're all logged on listening all about Nesbit School. Tonight, we're privileged to share with you about our International Baccalaureate Middle Years program. We began our journey as an IB school during the 2022-2023 school year, where we partnered with BRSSD leadership and we began researching about the IB and attending conferences run by the International Baccalaureate Organization. We then decided to move forward and we entered candidacy the 23-24 school year, and we began the validation process 24-25. And we were established as an IB World School in March of 2025. So during this presentation, you'll learn all about what a middle years program means, and you'll learn about the unique features that make Nesbit School a wonderful and competitive choice for the children in our community. To get us started, I'm going to pass it over to our awesome assistant principal, and she's going to give us a great introduction to Nesbit School.
Thanks, Ryan. We can go ahead and switch the slide. Perfect. So again, thanks everyone for being here. Like Ryan said, my name is Christina Spicker, and I am the proud assistant principal here at Nesbit. Ryan and I, just first off, are always here to support our students and our staff and our families, but we couldn't do that without the help of our amazing office team. You will see a picture of them listed here. Linda Fonseca is our administrative assistant. Susan Wilson is our student services secretary. Nyla Faruqi is our school liaison and nutrition clerk. And then we have the amazing Nurse Luna, who is our school nurse and always here with a happy face. These faces of this school office staff are the people that help things continue to move and run seamlessly here. And we appreciate everything that they do for us. When you come to Nesbit, these are the smiling faces that you'll see. But in addition to that, you will also see this sign welcoming you outside. It reads, "Welcome all abilities, all religions, all orientations, all cultures, all colors. Love lives here." This truly is what we believe here at Nesbit. I think you can feel it in our environment and like the tone of school when you arrive here. We really are a family where we care for and value each other. Go ahead and switch the slide for us. Thanks. So besides those amazing people that you saw on the previous screen, the other very important people are our amazing middle school team of teachers. Our sixth grade team consists of Kyle Ting and Tim McIntyre. Seventh grade is Katie Hunter and Jay Harrington. Our eighth grade team is Chandra McEwen and Travis Whitebread. Our science specialist and IB coordinator is Casta Wood. Our world language, i.e. Spanish teacher, is Clara Dibelbis. Our ed specialist is Miss Tina Farrell. Our school counselor is Paul Lusich, and our reading and EL specialist is Miss Lisa Mudd. And you will get to hear from most of these people tonight. Just a big picture look about Nesbit. Our school is a K-8 school with a total of 540 diverse learners, 406 of which are kindergarten through fifth grade students, and then 134 students make up our sixth through eighth grade. But our vision and mission for all of our students, whether they're our elementary school students or our middle school students, is the same. We seek to create a safe, nurturing, and respectful learning environment where diversity is valued. And like I said before, I think you really feel that in the fiber of everything that we do here. And we're excited to welcome many of you to our family, hopefully next year.
So signature practices are a unifying feature at our K through 8 campus. Nesbit is a beloved community, and we really value intellectual achievement, but it's also valued just as much as effort and drive. Working together are our instructional practices, our inclusive climate and culture, and the multi-tiered approach that we give to all of our students in our school community. Next slide, please. So all of our K through 8 teachers receive professional coaching and grade level specific staff development in partnership with the Climascope project. And each grade level at Nesbit School designs a project based on the solutionary framework. And these projects focus on engagement and agency, and they are all in line with environmental literacy. And we take on that environmental literacy lens. Every single grade level provides an opportunity for students to research, design, and pose a solution to a problem that they identify in their community. They also showcase their work and they make their work public. This is Nesbit's signature practice, and it is the unifying feature that makes our school cutting edge. Next slide. Is there a little bit of lag, or are we on the next slide? There we go. There it is. It's a slide maybe you've seen before. So clearly, Nesbit has really spent a lot of time crafting like an innovative school-wide practice that really brings our district strategic plan off the paper and into our practice. We really believe and invest in our K through 5 program because we know that that intellectual real estate is what's going to matter for our 6th through 8th grade students. We want to make sure that our 6th through 8th grade students are able to connect their learning. They're able to see learning beyond just the content area and apply it to the real world. And for us, that starts in kindergarten and inspiring them to want to learn beyond. And that's the beauty of a K through 8th grade campus. There's this real pipeline feature. Students in our middle school get to experience leadership and working with younger students, but it also helps them kind of bridge the type of learner that they are and explore new ways to share their thinking. Next slide. And that is why Nesbit was drawn to the IB MYP. The IB has a global reach and a global scale that we were looking for in order to accelerate the experience at Nesbit School. So an IB schools serve just under 2 million students worldwide. There are over 6,000 schools across 160 countries and regions, and there are 206 MYP programs in California. So becoming an IB validated world school is what makes Nesbit Middle School a dynamic choice in BRSSD.
So the IB consists of 8 different courses of study or subject areas. Each subject area is grounded in a set of rigorous objectives, which are the skills and practices that students will build and develop throughout their 3 years in the program. Some of the labels may be a little unfamiliar. In our case, language acquisition is our Spanish class. Multilingualism is a really key value of the IB. Language and literature is our reading and writing class, which we spread out across 2 periods. Individuals and societies refers to history or social studies. Design and arts are not separate classes in our schedule, but rather are integrated throughout the curriculum across all of our different classes. Could you hit next? In addition to those 8 courses of study, each grade level has an interdisciplinary unit, which draws on the objectives and skills and content from at least 2 of the different courses of study. And on top of all of that, students also get to choose from a variety of non-IB electives taught by all 6 of our teachers.
So this also connects us to BRSSD's profile of an empowered learner. So this is a tool that really complements Nesbit's work. You're going to learn later that Nesbit also has a learner profile that is established through our IB. It's a list of the attributes we hope to instill in our students, and they're incorporated across all of our content areas and across our entire program. So, a very important factor that I want to mention when it comes to IB schools is the commitment to strong teaching. So, collective teacher efficacy, teacher training, teachers becoming experts in designing content and creating projects connected to the core curriculum and the content standards, and then documenting that type of professional development is actually an IB requirement. So, teacher quality is the number one predictor of student success. And programs like IB encourage that type of teacher development. And I couldn't be more proud than to do that type of work with the team before you tonight. So every IB school also has a leadership position within the program. It's the people and the systems in that program that make the program come to life. And every single IB school needs an IB coordinator. This is the person that helps move the IB work along, helps inspire the professional development, ensures that grading and assessment is being done in accordance with the IB framework. And so we have that person as part of our core team. And we're proud to say that our science specialist, Mr. Wood, is also our IB coordinator. And Cass is going to give you just a little bit more information that just gives you more background about why an IB education is so impactful. Go ahead, Cass.
Next slide. Thank you. So we wanted to share with you about why our Nesbit IB education is so special. It offers students a truly distinguished learning experience. We are the only public IB World School program in San Mateo County. And so our students participate in a globally recognized program. It develops independence, critical thinking, and real-world problem solving. So as Ryan mentioned, all of our team is specially trained with an IB background, not specialized for IB. We have written meticulously curated units and lesson plans for our program, and our program is regularly evaluated to ensure that it meets the rigorous international standards. Next slide. So I want to expand on that a little bit and say in our IB program, our learning is driven by three important practices: inquiry, action, and reflection. And students begin with inquiry by asking questions and exploring ideas in deeper ways. They all take action multiple times throughout their experience in IB by applying what they learned to real-world situations and make responsible choices. And then finally, reflection helps students think about their learning. They evaluate their ideas, their growth, their thoughtfulness as independent learners. Next slide. And then just one more tidbit about why an IB education is an excellent option. It's a highly interconnected for our rapidly changing world. So the International Baccalaureate program prepares students to thrive beyond traditional boundaries. Our Nesbit program will cultivate internationally mindedness. They help students understand the world from both local and global perspectives. And through something you'll learn about global contexts, students will go culturally, globally engage themselves in activities and contribute to a more peaceful world. Thank you.
One other major factor of an IB education is also a learner profile, which Ms. Hanson mentioned earlier on. Our school has four core values of being safe, respectful, responsible, and inclusive. But at the middle school, we also focus on these other elements here that you see, these 10 elements of being a IB learner and that learner profile that goes along with it. These are not just your standard aspects that focus around being a good student, but also around being a good person and being a good learner. You're thinking about how are you as far as being balanced or being a risk taker. Yes, it's about being knowledgeable and being a thinker, but also being principled, being a communicator, and really being open-minded to so many different things they're going to come across your 3 middle school years here at Nesbit. We're so excited to get to focus on all of these. In fact, we do our Puma shout outs every Friday, which our whole school takes part of. And when we shout out students, we like to shout out these different learner profile attributes to really be able to have them recognize like the growth that they're making, not just academically, but with these learner profile elements as well. Next slide.
So another hallmark of the IB program is their approaches to learning. And these approaches to learning are a set of skills that really help students become lifelong learners. And these are going to benefit your students no matter where they choose to go to high school at the end of their middle years program with us at Nesbit. These approaches to learning are integrated into our curriculum across all subject areas. The approaches to learning include things like thinking, creative thinking, critical thinking, metacognition, thinking about thinking. We have research skills, informational literacy, media literacy, and we really talk about the ethical use of media. We work on communication skills, exchanging information and literacy skills. Sorry. Things like reading, writing, nonverbal communication, listening, speaking. We work on the social, interpersonal relationships, collaboration skills, social emotional intelligence, and for middle schoolers, kind of the most important, self-management, organizational skills, mindfulness, perseverance, resilience, and self-motivation. Next slide, please.
And then in addition, we have 16 key concepts to be explored, and these show up in every class. So they're supposed to be cross-curricular, helping students make connections between subjects and also real life situations. For example, one of the key concepts is change. This comes up in individuals and societies where students explore how cultures change over time. And this ties into language and literature, where students examine how characters throughout a novel develop and also change. These key concepts encourage deeper thinking and help students see the bigger picture of their learning.
And where the key concepts are very universal, those then get each paired with a global context, which allows us to ground each exploration in a much more concrete topic while still being interdisciplinary. Topics related to identities and relationships, orientation in time and space, scientific and technological innovation, etc. So these are really about continuing to build that global consciousness while helping us ground each of those key concepts in a more specific topic.
For design, again, design is a content area. It's not just an elective. It's built into all of our content areas. We'll talk more about design later. But the design process is really important to 21st century skills. It involves 4 stages broken down into 16 steps. And it really is essential for students because it really fosters critical thinking and creativity, problem-solving skills. And by engaging in this design process over and over and in different content areas, students learn how to analyze problems, develop and test their solutions, refine their ideas based on evidence and feedback. And so this process not only develops their understanding of STEM concepts, but also prepares them to approach real world challenges, both with resilience and innovation. Next slide.
So I'm really happy now to introduce one of our amazing 6th grade parents to share a bit about their perspective regarding their child's transition to 6th grade, as well as the establishment and experience they've had so far in our IB MYP.
My name is William Stein. I'm the parent of a Nesbit 6th grader. We've been at Nesbit since he was in kindergarten. That's a picture of his first day of school, 7 years ago. Yeah, I just like to explore all the middle school information from sessions like this and to make his improvements. And he comes to Nesbit for middle school. we are really happy that's worked out great for him. Ah, he leaves middle school, which is not something I ever thought we were there misleading. He likes the pieces, the slave, and even in a really small program, he continues to make new friends. There's new connections with old Nesbit students and friends with a lot of new students who are at Nesbit. This is really a concern for us when he chooses a small program. It's an issue with he's more the AD program, like Nesbit. I think it's got the local connection, like this are obviously really busy, but we have games with kids soon. The potential defense in the failure will go over here. Um, The defense work other was not the correct on in an integrated and engaging so we can't just usually fleet housing in middle school, there was actually reading science, but with all that context, but doing C drops together and how to apply in real world. So Earth is bigger than life. So science incorporates elements of design, individuals of society, or that we history and social studies course, and the language and history courses incorporate. It brings it all together and makes each of the subjects resonate more for the students. We see our son talking about it and applying those ideas, even outside of school. I just know about this curriculum work program from probably school he chooses. We've talked to other parents and little students about that and feel though she's really lucky about wherever he ends up. We really love the Nesbit community and staff. We think it's been great for our family. They would be happy to talk to taking answer families. If you're thinking about Nesbit and these questions, please reach out. We would be happy to be our experience. It's really been great.
Thank you, Dan. Because we have such a large group and because our slides are heavy on media and we have such a big panel, as others are sharing, if we would like to please turn off our cameras so we don't have any interference. Dan, thank you for sharing about Simon's experience. We really appreciate you being here and just advocating for Nesbit and sharing with other future parents. I think that if any other parent in the audience wanted to connect with another parent, Christina and I would love to facilitate that with you. If you would love to talk further with Dan, we'd be more than happy to make that connection so that you can learn about making better connections with sixth grade families at Nesbit's IB. Next slide, please.
Okay, so for language and literature, we're going to continue using our reading and writing units of study. And that creates a really strong connection between both classes. So we have language separate from literature. Students are really fortunate to have both of these classes every day, which allows them to engage with a high volume of texts. The IB framework encourages students to think more deeply and critically about how reading and writing connect to the world around them, fostering those critical thinking skills and global awareness. In this photo, we have recently all seventh graders participated in the local Belmont Martin Luther King poetry and essay contest, and 4 of our students were recognized at the ceremony last week. And then on the right, Mr. Harrington and I were recognized for the solutionary work and project our students did last year. Next slide, please. And here's one other slide to show how we really value showcasing our work. The 3 pictures with the red curtain are our annual poetry slam. All 6th through 8th graders are given the opportunity to write a poem, rehearse it, present it. It's a really special event we have every April. And then the other 2 photos represent opportunities to collaborate with other classrooms. Being a K-8 school, it's very special for the older students to show their leadership skills, sometimes interview younger grades for project ideas, or just showcase our learning in general.
So the here at Nesbit, as part of the IB program, students actually have Spanish for all 3 years. And unlike a lot of other schools, it is not an elective. It's actually one of their core classes. Um, there is a balance of culture and academics in order to prepare students for a high school Spanish class. IB pairs well with the five goals of language acquisition, which are communication, cultures, connections, comparisons, and communities. With language acquisition, we build on the communication, the culture, the connection, the creativity, within everything that they do. Students learn language through the four IB objectives, which are listening, reading, writing, and speaking within in Spanish. We use the curriculum of Reporteros. It's a communicative program designed to build proficiency through project-based learning. It explores culture while embedding vocabulary and grammar together, rather than just getting snippets here and there. And students are able to, with this approach, students are able to learn to express themselves in Spanish. At the California Language Teachers Association last week, I was one of 10 teachers from across the state to implement language leadership qualities within the world language classroom. Our IB language acquisition course expands those art and design through culture to make the language course more meaningful and enriching for the MYP Nesbit or for the Nesbit MYP program. Next slide, please. Here's an example of some of the projects that we did have done in Spanish so far this year. In language acquisition, students engage in many visual projects for cultural activities such as celebrating La Tomatina, Hispanic Heritage Month, Dia de los Muertos, which you can see a couple examples of there, Dia de los Reyes Magos, and also Cinco de Mayo. Each grade level also performs different songs in Spanish for our Nesbit Winter Sing. It involves rehearsal, practice on pronunciation, learning choreography, and then also performance etiquette. Students will also engage in some design activities towards the end of the year where they'll focus on cultural events such as piñata making and creating their own alebrije.
So individuals in society, that is the IB language for history or social studies. At the broad level, we're following the same content standards as any other California middle school. So sixth grade is doing world history through 500 CE. Seventh grade is doing world history, picking up at 500 CE. Eighth is doing American history, just like any other California middle school. The big difference with IB is that we're really building connections across disciplines, time, space, and using the history content to explore universal timeless concepts. So for example, the unit we're in right now is technological innovations enable the development of new ways of life. So we're looking at some specific ancient history content about technological innovation and the way it enabled new ways of life, while really making explicit connections to how that concept applies to our life today. So that's the sort of the IB differences, those connections between the history content and more universal concepts about our world. IB also provides us a really powerful framework for connecting the history content to key skills like research, inquiry, argument, and presentation. Next slide. Just a few highlights, some students at work, a few projects. Over on the right, I think is an eighth grade project. They also do, in addition to the American history, they make some connections in the I&S class to a business plan project, creating a business proposal and presenting their plans. So taking sort of an economics approach there as well.
So for math at Nesbit, we have two math classes per grade, sixth, seventh, and eighth grade, with Common Core classes in all three grades, and then Algebra 1 in eighth grade. And then in sixth and seventh grade, we also have an accelerated pathway that's on track for Algebra 1 in eighth grade with flexible pacing placement that we revisit every year. The teachers talk with each other, think about student placement, but then also including students as well as parents with the kind of differentiation that we plan to implement with the students that we have in our math classes. Our units of study currently are built around the district's curriculum, Amplify Math, and our units of study include those traditional approaches to learning and practice structured around that curriculum, but then all of our IB, MIP units also approach
the contextual application through each of our unit statement of inquiry, which we'll actually take a look at on the next slide. But before we get there, the district is actually currently in an adoption period where we are currently reviewing not just Amplify Math, but two other pilot curricula that we will adopt in not just the middle school, but also the elementary school as well. And those three options, Amplify Math would be staying with that, Carnegie Learning, and Imagine Learning. I'm grateful to be one of the 5 middle school teachers on the adoption committee. And this adoption that we are currently going through, our first pilot, wrapping that up and approaching our second one, families have had a chance to kind of see those different approaches, what those materials look like. It's been a challenging shift for students, but it's also given myself and the rest of the team, students as well, some insights and some ownership over what the next adopted curricula will be. So if families have any questions about that, please feel free to reach out to really either any of the middle schools, because we all have some teacher involved on that committee. On the next slide, we have just one example of what one of our units of study looks like. Up at the top, form and space, drive, ingenuity, and progress is one of our statements of inquiry that include the key concept, related concept, and global context that were discussed earlier, thinking about how all of the work that we're doing is not just based on the curriculum, but thinking about how our statement of inquiry-based projects kind of wrap students through, not just understanding and knowing the concepts, but thinking about how we investigate, communicate around that, and then applying it. So we have students who looked through the classroom, finding something that they thought didn't use space efficiently, made some plan for that, put it together, and then thought about how that final product ended up using materials, space, and just the construction of it, the reflection piece of what actually makes sense is something that all 6th graders got to go through with our first geometry unit.
Okay, let's talk a little bit more in depth about our IB design program. So unlike traditional models where design is an optional elective, IB positions design as a core content. And design units are woven into every subject area. It's very interdisciplinary. Students have over 50 hours of design instruction each year. Design content is covered during our first semester design and art elective. In addition, the remaining hours and projects are implemented in each subject content areas. So students complete design projects based on the 4 categories of the design process. And in the beginning of the year, IB elective students, actually next, oh, they're all on this slide. The pictures, sorry. Students are creating 3D modeled shoes through the design process. 6th graders created a cardboard arcade game, which was showcased with students from other grade levels. 7th graders and 8th graders do a variety of other activities, including children's books. They design a variety of professional posters and field games where they have invited other students to participate and play. In content courses like science, design projects include student STEM projects or engineering bottle rockets and building marble roller coasters.
Much like the design, art is also integrated into all of their classes. So students participate in over 50 hours of art through a variety of activities in their IB art elective art class, in addition to incorporating it into all of their other content courses. This interdisciplinary approach helps students develop their creativity, communication, and innovative problem-solving skills in a variety of contexts. Students use art to communicate ideas, analyze culture, and also express their understanding across the subject areas. You might see 6th graders creating mathematically calculated origami, sequence photography of weather in science, making papel picado in Spanish class, or creating self-portraits influenced by historical figures in INS. You might see 7th graders creating dioramas connected to literature, creating Roman mosaics, sequencing ecological succession, or creating sugar skulls. For eighth grade, you might see eighth graders creating an ofrenda, mathematical tessellations, stop motion of Newton's forces, and literary identity collages.
Students in our science program still learn about all of the required California NGSS standards and use district curriculum, but the IB approach deepens how students learn that content. So instead of focusing on memorizing information, students engage in inquiry-based and project-based learning, where they investigate, they question, design experiments, and solve real-world problems. IB Science is also assessed through 4 objectives that go beyond content knowledge. They learn how to explain science concepts, design their own investigations, analyze and evaluate data, and reflect on the impacts of science on today's society and the environment. So in some of these pictures, you will see students experiencing a wide variety of learning approaches. On many days throughout the week, we have hands-on activities, engineering challenges, but students also read and write in science. They have collaborative discussions. For example, students have frog dissections to explore the anatomy. They build heat transfer models to test insulation. They use stream erosion tables to analyze meteor impact craters. Next slide. Over the 3 years, we work on a lot of study strategies, research skills, and scientific thinking habits that prepare them for advanced science learning, especially being ready for high school and real-world problem solving. In some of these pictures, our students are able to showcase their work in science. So specifically, outside the classroom, our students have the opportunity to participate in San Mateo in BRSSD STEM Fair competition, and we regularly have students move on to the San Mateo County STEM Fair, as well as California State STEM Fair and the National Broadcom Masters competition.
Hello. So in our PE program, students build a strong foundation in fitness, nutrition, and healthy lifestyle choices, which equips them with the knowledge and skills to make informed decisions about their well-being, both now and in the future. In our PE program, we encourage students to stay active and develop lifelong healthy habits. So we participate in a wide variety of activities in sports, team sports, individual skill-building exercises, and lessons on just maintaining a balanced lifestyle. So each grade, students do projects that apply to what they learn in their lives. For example, our eighth grade students, they work on a CPR course and learn how to create a safety plan, ensuring they're prepared to handle real life situations responsibly. So again, by engaging in this physical education, students gain the confidence and tools to lead active, balanced lives, and again, setting them on a path for a healthy and happy future.
We also have a significant electives program here at Nesbit. We have a wide variety of electives, some which all students take based on their grade level. For example, students take IB 101, IB 201, and IB 301 at the start of each school year to be working on art and design ideas, working through some of those projects which have already been mentioned, and really being able to sort of expand their horizons and even expand on what they've already learned from previous years. They also have additional electives to choose from. This year, we currently are offering leadership with Mr. Harrington, fine arts with Miss Hunter, adulting 101, which is with me, graphic design with Mr. Ting, social media literacy with Mr. McIntyre, and STEAM with Miss McEwen. All of these electives have different things we hope to have students learn about, which might then help them better choose which electives they might want to be doing a little bit later on. I think about how all of these electives might have certain draws for students, and I know certainly that I wish I would have learned more about some of these things when I was in middle school.
Hello, future Puma family.
As you learned or you're learning, we at Nesbit feel that it is important that we not only help students academically and support them academically, but we give them strategies and systems to help them with the ownership of their education during their educational journey. For students that receive specialized academic support, we do this by providing a push in, pull out model. We push in during their reading, writing, math class, and science class to provide that extra resource and support in the moment as they're learning who they are as a learner and they're showing the world who they are as a learner. We feel that this is important because they are able to not miss out on the collaboration time with their peers, which is highly important. We also mirror the Sequoia Union High School's directed studies model of having them pull out during their elective periods. That's a time where they're able to hone in on their specialized support or goals that they need to work on. It is very important that they understand that we are all family, we are all learning together, and that they have say in their education. For students that have specialized academics instruction, and the parents, we have a meeting. We will have a meeting for you. So if you choose Nesbit, should you choose Nesbit, please choose Nesbit because we are so happy to have you as family. The meeting will make sure that we have a successful transition into middle school and have the best Puma years ever. Thank you guys.
One other major aspect that we're super proud of at Nesbit also is including about the athletics and clubs that we are able to offer to further engage students outside of the classroom and outside of the school day. We are part of the ADAL, the Art David Athletic League, which allows us to be able to participate in team sports all around the peninsula. So as far south as even Los Altos and Palo Alto, to up into San Mateo and Foster City. In the fall, we have girls volleyball, we have flag football, and we also have an ever-expanding cross-country team. In the winter, we have basketball. There's a seventh and eighth grade season, followed by a sixth grade season. And in the spring, we have boys volleyball, track and field, and soccer. Although soccer admittedly requires a much larger number to be able to have a functioning team. Our teams are oftentimes combined with Sandpiper, but it certainly does depend on the numbers that we might have. I look at this fantastic volleyball picture here in the center where we had all eighth graders, right? We had 3 different volleyball teams this year. In addition to sports, we're so excited to be able to offer these as non-cut sports to allow people to be able to experience it, to be able to learn to get better at it. We've had a few students join club volleyball teams and club basketball teams based on the experiences they've been able to have at Nesbit and sort of a more judgment-free zone. We also have a few clubs outside of school as well. We think about how we have board game club that Mr. Ting hosts every single Friday after school, as well as homework club. I know that our probably most consistent board game club member who comes every single week to play games definitely is Miss Farrell.
You know it.
She is always there to go to play those games. Students get to experience different games that might want to be able to do and simply have another opportunity to engage themselves after school. It's a lovely Friday afternoon activity, hoping to really engage students as best we can outside of the classroom, in addition to what we're doing here inside. Next slide, please. One other major thing that we're super excited about is our eighth grade capstone community project. All eighth graders take what they have been able to do in their solutionary work and then apply this to a project that they are really, really interested in and one that really applies to them. This is a year-long project where we involve not only the students, but also the families. We're super happy to be able to have a sort of presentation where we're able to work with the families at that very beginning of the school year to have them able to hear about the investigation, the research and planning, the taking action, the reflection, and the presentation, all those phases that the students go through that families also can go ahead and engage in as well. Certainly want them to be aware to be able to help and sort of discuss these things with their child. Students get so much choice in what their project is based on what they feel is a need within the community. They then are able to take that and do some research on it before figuring out how they can best actually make a difference to address this need and to make a difference in our community. Some of those current 2025, 2026 programs that we have are a huge, robust list. We've got picture books for environmental awareness. We've got basketball camps and soccer camps. We have groups that realize we want to be able to help students be able to make friends. So they made a Making Friends Club. Students that are doing art outside of school, they wish they could be able to do more in school. So an art and sewing club. We've got a group that feels like campus beautification is really one of those things that they, from their research, found out is important for learning. So they want to be able to revamp the blacktop. There's so many projects that we all have based on student needs, and they're able to learn so much along the way, regardless of how successful their project might really be in the end.
It is now an awesome opportunity to hear from a wonderful sixth grade parent so that she can share with you her experience that she's had with the Nesbit program.
Thank you so much. I feel I have the nicest slide. Can you hear me well? Yes, perfect. So just a correction there. I have a fifth grader, that's going to be a sixth grader next year. And I have an eighth grader now, which is the one that looks like me. He's the most handsome one there. And I have been very happy to be a mother at Nesbit since kindergarten for both of them. What I want to tell you is the IB program is rigorous, but what makes it very, very powerful is the philosophy that it has. It develops thinkers, communicators, and reflective learners for a neurodivergent and for any child in that matter. It recognizes that growth is not just academic, it's social, emotional, and personal. The emotional part is so important. I'm telling you this not only as a mother, but as a people manager in Silicon Valley for the last 20 years. A meaningful example in the seventh grade Yosemite trip, that it was planned for these kids. And this is extracurricular. Shows the love and devotion of these teachers bringing fantastic and amazing opportunities to these kids. The experience goes beyond a field trip. Students apply science to the real world, collaborate with their peers, and step outside of their comfort zones. For a child working on executive functions and social skills, that kind of a structure, hands-on learning builds confidence and independence in ways that in a classroom alone it cannot. But truly what makes Nesbit special, again, is these teachers. The difference between a good program and a life-changing program is the educators that see the whole child, that they see this holistic person, and they're able to foster the social growth, self-advocacy. You just met Mr. Whitebread. My son just walked to him demanding a volleyball team because his pediatrician said that he needed to exercise. I challenge you to find another school where that's going to be accommodated for him. So it's not only about the test score, but also how these children are seen as a whole person. When a student feels understood and supported, they just get through school. It's not just about that, they thrive in school. For my son, for Arnau, and hopefully also for Joaquin, who's now in fifth grade, IB is not just an academic pathway, it is a foundation for lifelong learning and independence. And as parents, we need to appreciate that. We need to launch these kids with full independence and with all the tools they could have to thrive out there. Thank you so much.
So my running joke about our small school culture that we have at Nesbit is the positive of sending your child to Nesbit is we're going to get to know your child really, really well. The negative is we are going to get to know your child really, really well. But because we are a small school, our students have many opportunities to be involved and take on leadership roles. Throughout the year, they participate in events like our poetry slam, the talent show, our business fair, and our winter performance, where they can showcase their talent and their work. Students also help lead important community events such as Discovery Day, Science Night, and Multicultural Night. Our Puma families build connections across grade levels, and our students get to participate in programs like Tupe, which allows students to develop leadership and advocacy skills. All of these experiences help students discover their strengths and prepare them for the many high school options ahead. Last year, our graduating class went to 8 different high schools, and the year before that, our students attended 13 different high schools. We send students to high schools like Carmont, D-Tech, Notre Dame, Reardon, the Nueva School. So our students have multiple opportunities to pursue different high schools after leaving Nesbit. Next slide.
We wanted to share with you our IB report card. So this is just a quick little glance at it. So what I want to share with you is that we have created a dual grading system specifically for our middle schoolers. So the students will receive both IB objective grades. So we've mentioned those objectives a few times tonight, but they will also receive traditional A through F grades. The IB grades measures the student's growth in specific skill areas such as analyzing information, designing investigations, communicating ideas, using internationally developed rubrics. But at the same time, your students will also receive traditional A to F grades that reflects their overall course performance, traditional things like assessments, progress through the term, homework, classwork. So this approach of having the dual grading system allows us to maintain a very familiar reporting that families are hoping for, but also provide more detailed insight on how students are developing and progressing their academic skills. Next slide. So this is an overview of the four IB objectives in each course. So in addition to traditional grades, which are posted on online gradebooks, we use criterion-based assessment, which means students are not graded against each other, but they have clear learning objectives. So each subject has 4 objectives that measure different skills, and then students are assessed on them multiple times a year. They'll get feedback that shows their growth. It's on a scale of 1 to 8, and then this lets us see how they are developing their skills over time.
The Nesbit daily schedule is based around actually 8 classes that try to fit into a 7-period day. So we actually have we have classes 4 times a week that are on the rotating. You can see that on the side with the student day-to-day schedule, where the first 5 periods of the day are rotating between 6 classes. And then the end of the day, with the exception of Wednesday, always ends with elective and PE. That was it.
Something I truly love about Nesbit is our commitment to making our students' work public. The pride that these students have and the confidence that they have to showcase this work, whether that be to other classes at our K through 8 school, whether that be to the whole school entirely, or just parents and other people. Like, it is so awesome to see these students when they create something and they want to showcase it. So we do that in a lot of different ways. Like I said, here are some examples here. And beyond the classroom, like I said, our middle schoolers, um, we've done things where we have artwork on the Samtram buses. We've had participation in winners in citywide poetry contests and other public platforms. And like I said, they not only celebrate their hard work, but it just inspires them to see the impact of their voices and the creativity in the world around them. And it truly is amazing.
Building off of what Jay said, I think it not only empowers them, but also empowers the other students here at Nesbit. We think about how we're engaging those younger students, engaging other middle school students. That really is an inspiring for each other. It would really push each other. One thing here on the left to showcase, we have a design project. It's called our Cardboard Carnival, where our 6th graders design and go through the entire design process, creating a carnival style game out of cardboard. This then they get to showcase for those younger students who get to go ahead and to work on playing those games to sort of see and get some ideas for what future games they might be able to create, but also to sort of help those current students be able to figure out if I were to run this back again, if I were to do it differently, what might I do differently? We also mentor our solutionary showcases. This is also one thing that we are able to share with other students across our entire school and building off of the learning that they've done in previous years. We continue to build and help students be able to be more successful, more confident as they continue to showcase their work in different ways throughout their entire time at Nesbit. We also are able to, in some cases, do projects where we need those younger students. Our eighth graders work on designing a picture book with first grade clients. So they meet with a client. They have to go to work and design interview questions and follow up with that client to help them, those eighth graders, be able to get those first graders the books they really would want to be able to see. Our eighth grade community service project, like I mentioned before, also is one that does a lot to be able to help other people. And that then involves engaging other people. We got an email from a parent earlier on this week, literally yesterday, that this email came in. So I want to go ahead and read it. And it talks about how we had a young man who could not make it to the football camp that the eighth graders were running. The eighth graders wanted to have a football camp because they wished that they had been involved in team sports like football when they were younger, and they looked at the impact that team sports can have. And this mom wrote, he had the best time being coached by our middle schoolers. They did an amazing job of connecting with the kids, teaching them great techniques, encouraging them, and hyping them up, and making it an incredibly fun experience. What great coaches. They definitely made a positive impact. Please send them our thanks. We certainly did give our thanks, and these are the kind of things that we look forward to being able to do by making work public. Students are able to be more confident, they're able to feel more connected with the people that they're working with, but in the younger students being more connected with what's happening across the different grade levels here at Nesbit. We don't need to watch the video. We're good.
And this is a perfect opportunity to hear from an amazing fifth grade parent and what she's thinking as her child is just about to head off to middle school before we know it.
Hi, everyone. My name is Allison Thorson. I am the proud parent of a current third and fourth grade student. Brooks is soon to be in fifth grade. So when I hear everything tonight, so many of the things that I really love about Nesbit actually are those intangible, subjective things, and that is the community that's there. I also think I have a unique perspective because we didn't start at Nesbit. We, like many of you parents, for our TK year, it was right when COVID hit. And so we decided to stay at a small private Catholic school for TK and kindergarten because they were open all the time. But even though we were there and even though everyone was learning how to read and write, the energy and the connection, it just was off. So much teacher turnover, so much infighting, it almost felt like between teachers and administrators. It just didn't feel like the right environment. And I don't think we realized how much we loved Nesbit until we were there. Every morning they talk about being respectful, responsible, safe, and inclusive, and they're not just saying that, they really mean it. It's, Nesbit is so diverse, and I appreciate that so much. I'm a professor at University of San Francisco, and we're said to be one of the most diverse universities in the country. And the things that I see happening at Nesbit in terms of appreciation for difference and honoring people's identity is what I see at my college campus. And it's just so nice and refreshing to see that there. The other thing that I feel like I've just appreciated so much at Nesbit is the community among students, among parents, but also among the faculty, teachers, and administration. In the time we've been there, I can't even think of any turnover that has happened. Um, I the teachers stay at Nesbit and the students stay at Nesbit, and they really do understand that their individuality is valued. And so, yes, the curriculum is fantastic. Yes, the students are going on to do great things. But I think the intangible part of it is really the community and the connection and the respect that is not just among students, but everyone in the community. So I'll leave it at that.
Thanks, Allison. So we know that we have shared a lot of information with you tonight, and we hope that everything that you've heard has left you wanting just a little bit more and to learn a little bit more. So we've scheduled some opportunities for you and your child to get to visit Nesbit, experience our amazing middle school for yourself, and ask some questions. The first opportunity that's coming up is this Monday, March 9th. We will be hosting parent visits. There's 2 sessions available, one from 9 to 10 and another from 10:15 to 11:15. During these visits, our hope is to share some information, take you into some classrooms so that you can see the students and teachers in action and answer questions. We do know that the registration link has closed, but if you would still like to attend, feel free to send an email to either myself or Ryan. Our emails are listed right there, and we certainly will accommodate you and add you to our list. We also have opportunities for students to be able to shadow and visit our campus. Those 2 opportunities are next Friday, March 13th, and then the following Friday, March 20th. Both of those visits will last from 8:15 until 12:15. And again, this will be an opportunity for kids to be able to spend a day at Nesbit School, visiting, attending classes, having recess, meeting teachers, meeting the other students, and just sort of experiencing life as a Puma. Next slide, please. So some other important dates for everyone to remember is that at the end of this month, all of our 5th grade families will be receiving middle school choice forms electronically, and those forms will be due that Friday, April 3rd. So we know this is a quick turnaround, but we encourage everyone to take the time, make sure that you fill that out, and return it so that we get your choice in.
Please continue to take the opportunity to learn as much as you'd like about us. Everything on our website is public. All of our 6th through 8th grade subject group overviews and our MYP overview is listed on our website for you to view. And we can't wait for you to learn more, and feel free to reach out and ask us any questions you may like, just like Christina mentioned. And that is it for Nesbit School. Thank you for working through technology hiccups this evening. We really appreciate it. I think we could put our cameras back on. And I just want to let you know, these are the faces of the people that make Nesbit School so special. It's a dedicated team. Our entire team logs on tonight. And it's just an amazing community. And we hope that many of you join us in the fall.
Woo!
Woo! Mr. DeGuara.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Ryan. I just want to say a huge thank you to all of our staff. You guys make Nesbit an amazing place to learn and be a student at. To all of our parents and our community, I want to encourage you, like Principal Hanson shared, please click on those links on the slides. The deck will be posted on our district website. There is so much to Nesbit's IB program that makes it an amazing opportunity for all students. So as you're making that choice, please think long and hard about that choice. Nesbit is an amazing opportunity and really a gem in our district. So with that, I just want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. Thank you to our teachers. Thank you to our parents who joined, and everyone have a very nice night.
And there's no other way to end a Nesbit meeting but a loud and proud Go Pumas on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Go
Pumas!
Pumas!